Welcome to Madame Raven's. This way to the library. She's been expecting you.
Some Christmas poems for you, my darlings. As it is that time of the year, I'll start with the most famous, which was published in 1823. 'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mamma in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver, so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now, Dasher, now, Dancer, now, Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blixen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky, so up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkle I heard on the roof the dancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothing were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys was flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were rosy, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke had encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him, in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprung to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night." Fairy Faces by Anonymous. Out in the mists of childhood, steeped in the golden glory, come dreamy forms and faces, snatches of song and story, whispers of sweet, still faces, rays of ethereal glimmer that gleam like sunny heavens, ne'er do grow colder or dimmer, now far in the distance, now shining near, lighting the snows of the shivering year. Faces there are that tremble, bleary with the silent weeping, weird in a shadowy sorrow, as if endless vigil keeping, faces of dazzling brightness with childlike radiance lighted, flashing with many a beauty, nor caring for time had blighted. But o'er them all there's a glamour thrown, bright with the dreamy distance alone, aglow in the Christmas halo, shining with heavenly luster. These are the fairy faces that round the hearthstone cluster. These, the deep, tender records, sacred in all their meetness, that, waking purest fancies, soften us with their sweetness. As, gathered where flickering faggots burn, we welcome the holy season's return. God Bless Us, Everyone, by James Whitcomb Riley. God bless us, everyone, prayed Tiny Tim, crippled and dwarfed of body, yet so tall of soul. We tiptoe earth to look on him, high-towering o'er all. He loved the loveless world, nor dreamed, indeed, that it at best could give to him the while, but pitying glances when his only need was but a cheery smile. And thus he prayed, God bless us, everyone, enfolding all the creeds within the span of his child heart, and so, despising none, was nearer saint than man. I like to fancy God in paradise, lifting a finger o'er the rhyming swing of chiming harp and song, with eager eyes turned earthward listening. The anthem stilled the angels leaning there among the golden walls, the morning sun of Christmas burning flower-like with the prayer, God bless us, everyone. The Lamb, by William Blake. Little lamb, who made thee? Dost thou know who made thee? Gave thee life, and bid thee feed by the streams and o'er the mead. Gave thee clothing of delight, softest clothing, woolly bright. Gave thee such a tender voice, making all the vales rejoice. Little lamb, who made thee? Dost thou know who made thee? Little lamb, I'll tell thee. Little lamb, I'll tell thee. He is called by thy name, for he calls himself a lamb. He is meek and he is mild. He became a little child. I a child, and thou a lamb. We are called by his name. Little lamb, God bless thee. Little lamb, God bless thee. And I will end with my favorite. I think I've read it before on this channel, but oh well. I hope you enjoy. The Journey of the Magi, by T.S. Eliot. A cold coming we had of it, just the worst time of the year for a journey, and such a long journey. The way is deep, and the weather sharp, the very dead of winter, and the camels galled, sore-footed, refractory, lying down in the melting snow. There were times we regretted the summer palaces on slopes, the terraces, and the silken girls bringing sherbet. Then the camel men cursing and grumbling, and running away and wanting their liquor and women, and the night fires going out, and the lack of shelters, and the cities hostile and the towns unfriendly, and the villages dirty and charging high prices. A hard time we had of it. At the end we preferred to travel all night, sleeping in snatches, with the voices singing in our ears saying, this was all folly. Then, at dawn, we came down to a temperate valley, wet below the snow line, smelling of vegetation, with a running stream and a water mill beating the darkness, and 3 trees on the low sky, and an old white horse galloped away in the meadow. Then we came to a tavern, with vine leaves over the lintel, 6 hands at an open door dicing for pieces of silver, and feet kicking the empty wineskins. But there was no information, and so we continued, and arrived at evening not a moment too soon, finding the place. It was, you may say, satisfactory. Oh, all this was a long time ago, I remember, and I would do it again, but set down. This set down. This, were we led all that way for birth or death? There was a birth, certainly. We had evidence and no doubt. I had seen birth and death, but had thought they were different. This birth was hard and bitter agony for us, like death, our death. We returned to our places, these kingdoms, but no longer at ease here, in the old dispensation, with an alien people clutching their gods. I should be glad of another death. So quoth this raven. A Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, a very good Yule, and a wonderful holiday season to all of you, my darlings. Thank you so kindly for stopping by my chateau, my darlings. It does mean so much to me. Please, if you have not subscribed, as many of you have not, please do so. Give me a like so I know what you would like to hear. And comment. I always love to read your comments. And special thanks to my Patreon and membership supporters. Ciao, darlings.